Alright, welcome back. So today we're going to be looking at the box Attackive directory, right? And we are going to try to root him with just PowerShell. So I just did it. It took me around 6 hours to do, and it was something stupid simple that I wasn't thinking about at the very end. So what we're going to do, we do have a VPN up and running, all right? From there, so we do have our Attackive VPN up and running. We have our Python server up and running and everything. We can go ahead and exit out here. Actually, that's not how we exit out. We got to do that. And we are going to start trying to root this guy. So the very first thing we want to do, obviously, is some type of port scan, right? So I do have an mmap.exe on here. All right. I did download that off of GitHub. Every single thing on here I downloaded off of GitHub, so anything like mmap.exe or anything like that is off of GitHub. We are not going to use Impacket. We're not going to use secrets dump, nothing like that. We just first need to actually, actually look at this guy. So if I do an mmap.exe, we can see it's the same thing as the Kali mmap. So we can do an mmap.exe, tac t4, tac-pn. And we also have the GUI version too, just so you know. So we could do a Zenmap. So we could do nmap, Zenmap, GUI. I'll show you both of them. All right. And we're going to do this for the IP address of 10.10.237.5. Let's go ahead and do a Control V. Then we'll do attack-ng. No DNS lookup, right? Let's go ahead and run Zenmap also. So we're going to do our target. Is going to be 10.10.237.5. He's going to start off automatically with attack A and attack B. We're going to do a variable, so we'll do a do not ping, and we'll do a no DNS lookup. Then we can go ahead and scan, or we can go ahead and start that scan. Obviously, you can see that this runs a little bit faster than this guy over here. I also forgot to do attack VV over here, so maybe he's not running a little bit faster. There he goes. So we're starting to get some ports back, right? Now, one port that does work, but it's not really going to work for us because we're not going to be part of this actual domain, is WinRM is up, but it's not really going to do much for us here. So we see all these ports open and everything, right? And the very first thing that we have to do is, and I started taking notes at the very beginning, and then it became this 6 hour just frustration, right? So the very first thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to look at curb root, okay? Because we have no other way in there. We don't know any other way in there. And if we do actually follow the Attackive directory, that's one of the very first things we do. Alright, so let's go ahead and we are going to run Rubius to do curb root. So let's go ahead and I'm going to hop back over to here. I'm going to type in rubius.exe. Alright, and then from here, so I don't have to look it up online and everything again and do it all crazy like. Okay, we already downloaded our password list.txt and also our, our user list.txt. Now curb root, it's not going to be very fast with Rubius, just so you know. It's actually going to run really, really slowly with Rubius. It's actually pretty bad. So let's go ahead and do rubius.exe, root, and we're going to do /users are going to be in, we have C, users, Ryan Y, OneDrive. It might actually be easier if it's a really long thing, just put a space here, because then you can actually tab it out. Try hack me, Attackive directory /users list.txt. Just make sure you go back and actually do that guy right there. Okay, and then we're going to do a /passwords. I believe it's passwords, not password list, if I remember correctly. Yep, /passwords. Like I said, this was a 6 hour stream, so I don't want you guys to have to suffer through that. So we'll do /passwords. And that's going to be again in the C, users, Ryan Y, OneDrive, desktop, try hack me, Attackive directory, password list.txt. Now I did download those. Those are off the box itself. So it does say to utilize this user list and this password list for the box itself. Alright, from here, what we did next was we went ahead and we made an out file. Then we told it what the domain controller was and what the domain was. So we're going to go ahead and do our out file here, /out file. And we'll call this spookysec_curb.txt. Attack DC, which is the IP address. Attack domain, which is spookysec.local. And access denied because I didn't start, because my antivirus is going to go crazy, that's why. Let's go ahead and disable that until the computer is restarted, because I have been having a problem with that the whole time. So it's pissing me off. Let's go ahead and try that again. And now it's not there anymore because antivirus deleted it. So let's go ahead and download Rubius again. This has happened more than once. Rubius.exe GitHub. Now you can actually see me download it. Okay. We'll come into here and we're just going to do, because it's right here, Rubius. And I believe it was right there. Maybe I'm in the wrong place. There we go. Rubius.exe by Billick. Okay, so there's our Rubius.exe, right? So we go ahead and grab that, and we go ahead and download him, or we can just do a little download as zip. So let's go ahead. We're going to download him, and since it's already in my downloads, I should just copy them over. We're going to copy from C drive. Users, Ryan, downloads, Rubius to right here, right? And let's go ahead and run that command again. Now, like I said, this is going to take forever. So instead of waiting here for hours and hours and hours, okay, I believe I already have, if I go to a dir, we already have a .txt file in here that has, because I already did an out file, and I believe I called it cur, or I started with a K. I believe I did at least. Let's see here. There's AMSI bypass.txt, asrep-dir.txt. Is that it? I don't know why I'd call it that. That's my asrep. Red power AMSI.txt. Let's go ahead and look at what I called it. Let's look at my folder over here. I did stop it though, so I want to curb root. Yeah, so it should be in the K's. I did stop it though, so that might have messed it up. Type curb root. Okay, so nope, it's not in there. Okay. What if I cd in the curb rows? We get anything cool in here? Curb-rows.py, curb-rows, okay, so we are going to now, whenever that starts coming through, you will start to see some usernames, things like that. It takes forever, so I'm just going to give you guys a username. It's sbcadmin. We saw it come through. We started kind of working on it, on the sbcadmin, and then I ended up doing it all caps, and that's what worked for us. Because I wasn't able to get anywhere else with the asrep roasting. So let's go ahead and see how I did it in all caps, like right there. So let's go ahead and start doing some asrep roasting now, okay? Because we get that user, that curb root for curb root, and once we get that user, see how we start getting those valid users, we'll get that sbcadmin. We get the lowercase version, and then I start working on him. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to do a little bit of asrep roasting. Let me hop back over into here. We're going to do another Rubius.exe. Alright. Asrep. Rubius.exe. Asrep roast / domain controller, which again is 1010. I already forgot the domain controller's IP address. Go ahead and hop back over into not that. Hop back over into here, copy that, Control V, /out file, okay? And we're going to do, we'll just call it asrep-dir.dir1.txt /domain. It's going to be spookysec.local /user is going to be sbcadmin. And I think that should be it. Yep, /user sbcadmin. So let's run that guy, and we should get a asrep-dir1.txt. We can also do attack format. We could do the format for hashcat, but ooh, no, did I not do /domain spookystack.local asrep roast domain controller boom out file asrep-1.txt domain user svc admin? What's going on this time? Because we had this problem last time also. Without pre-auth required for him. I think last time I also did something like this, but we did get, yeah, spookystack.local svc admin. Ooh, what is happening this time? Asrep rows domain controller, yep. Out file, asrep. Get rid of the out file, see if anything changes there. Nothing. /user, right? svc admin. That's really weird because last time we obviously got something and it was successful. This time it's not being so successful now, is it? Let's make sure we still ping that guy. 10.10.237.5. Yes, we can. So what's happening this time with Rubius? So target domain, yep. Spookystack.local, yep. Spookystack, yep. That is correct. That's extremely strange. I have no idea what's going on this time with it. Rubius is working. Command dictionary, 2 arguments, crud, strings, all that filters. Let's try to get rid of the domain this time. Let's try with user svc admin like that. Username or password is incorrect. Yes, I know it is. Okay. That is very, very strange. Is it going to be lowercase this time for some reason? /domain. Yeah, last time we did an uppercase and all of a sudden it worked. Okay, so that time it worked. So for some reason we went to lowercase back to uppercase, it decided to work again. Alright, cool. So we do get that. Now we have the asrep-1.txt. So if I go ahead and type that out, asrep-1.txt, we can see that we have this like right here, right? A little bit of a problem with this guy though. And that is that if I come over here and I do a hashcat for that, right? And I go to examples and I do a control F. I do a control V. We can see we need to add this 23 in here. Okay. So what we need to end up doing is we need to end up doing a notepad. Now you could do a format hashcat. And as we can see, we're having the same problem that we did last time. Let's go ahead and put it back to lowercase, back to uppercase again, see if that works. If I was having this problem for real, I wouldn't even care. I'll just type out my asrep-1.txt and get that back. So I don't know, that's being super weird. I guess sometimes it wants to do it, other times it doesn't. We'll go ahead and copy that, or we can type in notepad asrep-1.txt, and we can add that 23 into there. asrep-1.txt, and we can add that 23 into there, right? So $, and then it said $23, and then another $. So we gotta do something like that, right? Let's go ahead and save that guy. Now the problem now is that I don't think that Hashcat's actually gonna do it because it's already been done. But we'll go ahead and we'll give it a try. So let's go ahead and open up my command prompt, CD in the desktop or OneDrive. I hate that. Desktop, Hashcat, dir, and you can see that I do already have the other one in here, but let me go ahead and do a copy from this whole thing right here. Copy like that, slash airodump-ng right here, right? And then we'll go ahead and we'll do a hashcat, hashcat.exe, attack-m, I believe it was 16,200 if I remember correctly, 18,200. Okay, so we'll do attack-m 18,200 for asrep-dir1.txt, and we'll use rocky.txt as our word list. I said he might not crack. Okay, it does crack it. So we get this management 2005 like right here as our password. Now we can go ahead and remote desktop and do it. Now I'm going to shut off my camera for a second. Well, actually, no, I'm not, because there you go. We remote desktop to do it. Okay, bam. All right. Now what we need to do is we need to start to look around like a little bit. So what we're going to do is let's first off do a PowerShell, right? We are not an administrator. If we right click and run it as administrator, it will run it, but we're still going to end up right here. We're not going to be C Windows System 32. We're not going to be the administrator up there. As we can see, we are SVC admin. So all I do is just remote desktop into them, just like you would any other way with a Windows 3 remote desktop. Let's do a dir. Let's start to figure out where the hell we are. CD in the desktop. We get our user.txt.txt like right there. All right, bam, there we go. Cool. Okay. Now, then from here, I decided to go ahead and try to run and invoke ShareFinder. So if I go back to my machine over here, and I go to my tools I have invoke ShareFinder somewhere in here, I believe. What's it called? It's called invoke ShareFinder. Find PS remotely local admin access. The reason I was looking at invoke ShareFinder is because we have port 445 and 139 upright, so you always want to look for shares. Is it, or is it get ShareFinder? Is it get ShareFinder? Forget what the actual name of this thing is. Port scan, PowerShell, SD propagator. That was invoke ShareFinder for some reason. Oh, you want to know why? Because it's in the PowerSploit toolkit, I believe. So if we cd and do PowerSploit, I think it's in the PowerSploit toolkit. I thought I brought it back to here though, back to myself. CD in the PowerSploit. Nope, excuse me, it's in PowerView, that's why. It's in PowerView. So if we go ahead and we hop back into here and we do a IEX, IWR, well, first we're going to do an AMSI bypass, so let's go ahead and do that first. So we'll grab our AMSI bypass, throw that into there, right? And we'll do a IEX, IWR, tech, use basic parsing. We're going to do it for HTTP, and we're going to do, for myself, right, 10.13.26.184. Remember, I do have it running on port 80, and from here we're going to do powerview.ps1. Once we throw this PowerView into here, we can go ahead and we can run invoke ShareFinder. At least I think I had it running on port 80. There we go. PowerView did come through. We got 200 over there, and we do get something over here. So let's go ahead and do an invoke ShareFinder. And we can see that we have this backup share like right here, right? So we can control C that, and we can actually just do a dir for that. Okay, we have these backup credentials. Let's go and do a type /backup credentials. And we see this like right here. I believe this is base 64. Let's go ahead and throw it into, since we're not using Kali right, let's throw it into CyberChef. So let's do a CyberChef. We'll throw it into here. Control V that guy. We get an output of backup as spookystack.local backup 2517860. So let's open up a new PowerShell. We'll stay within this remote desktop environment as a different user, right? So let's go ahead. We can actually run as administrator. We can try that. We can do backup. And we can do that password, which I can't copy and paste, obviously. So we'll do backup 2517860. Okay, we'll hit enter there. And we are now on here as an administrator. We believe if I do a who am I, we are backup. If I do a net user Ryan PS on SSW0RD1 / add, that account already exists. Okay. Because I forgot already to add him on there. Let's do a Ryan1. This completed successfully. Now I can do a net local group Ryan1 PSN SSW0RD1 net local group Ryan1 password 1 or net local group administrator / add Ryan1 specified local group does not exist. Admin STRATOR. Really? Net local group administrators, that's why. Access is denied. So we made a user. That's great. Net user Ryan1 or net user Ryan1. Right, we made a user, but we can't do anything with him, right? So now what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to figure out how the hell or how the heck, whatever, we can start to increase our privileges in here, right? We tried power up, we tried a bunch of things. Nothing was working. However, what we did find was if you read the walkthrough also, if you read this guy right here, and you can see that backup is part of a different group, right? Obviously we're backup now and we're part of a different group in here, right? So we can probably maybe even see that with, let's go do a net user. We could probably do a get net user because we do have, nope, we don't have PowerShell on this one. Net user backup. He's also part of domain users, so we don't really see much in there with that. I wonder if we can do a get net user over here. Okay, we see a bunch of users. Let's try it for backup. Remember, PowerView is running on this machine over here. All right. We have ADS path, backup, OU administrator, DC spooky stack, local, distinguished name backup. Supposedly, he is an administrator. But the machine is saying that he's not. So let's go ahead and do the same thing for getNet user SVC admin. Because I don't know if he says that, if it says that he's an administrator. Alright, and we got remote desktop user, things like that. But he's not an administrator. So what is backup doing differently, right? We can't add this guy to a group or anything like that. But obviously we might be able to increase our privileges within backup to be able to do something else. So now that we are backup and we are an administrator, even though he's fallen under domain users, he's supposedly an administrator. Let's go ahead and try to, like, let's get some Mimikatz running here or something, you know, that we can utilize to be able to try to make our lives a little bit easier. So let me get the font a little bit bigger for you guys. There we go. We're not allowed to, okay, there we go. So let's do a excuse me. Let's do an AMSI, let's not do an AMSI bypass. IXIWR, use basic parsing, just so you guys can see what happens if we don't, if it does work. 26.184/invoke Mimikatz.ps1. Let's see if AMSI is going to catch it. I'm going to get ready for it anyways. We'll grab our AMSI bypass.txt. And it did catch it. Now you notice that it says the script contains malicious content. We throw in our AMSI bypass. If I actually copied it, and we threw it in there. Okay, we throw in our AMSI bypass right, and we run that same script again, and now all of a sudden we're good. Alright? Weird how that works. So now what we can do is we can go ahead and do an invoke mimikatz, but none of these are actually going to work. So what we figured out was invoke mimikatz, attack command. None of them work, but what we have, the permissions that we have, are to read directory changes and filters, read replicating directory changes, replicating. We have a bunch of replicating stuff, right? Well, if we have a bunch of replicating stuff, that means that we're trusted. And so what I came up with was, well, let's try DC sync then. So we did attack command, we did, what is it, token elevate? Token elevate. And then we did a LSA DC sync for the user / user administrator. I think I just did it like that, if I remember. I may have done / spooky stack administrator or something like that. But let's see. I think I actually put in here how I exactly did it. DC sync. Token elevate, LSA dump sync user. So, and here I did put in the domain. We're going to try it without this time. We're going to see what happens. And mimikatz is going to take a minute to run also. But hopefully we get not only a elevated token, which is not really going to do much for us right now because we're not running the actual executable, but it'll do, you know, just enough. And then hopefully we get that DC sync with administrator hash. If we don't, that's okay. We'll go back and we'll add in that domain. We'll go from there. Let's shut some of these light off. It's like 2 a.m. here. We've been working on this thing for a while. LSA not found. What? Oh, is it LSA dump? Well, now we did that. We'll go ahead and we'll throw in our LSA dump, and then we'll do our / domain spooky stack.local. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and throw that in there. We'll see what we can get out of this guy. I don't have my camera on today because we're working on PowerShell. You know, I can't split the windows and everything. I don't want my face to be in the way of all the commands. I'm sure you guys would rather see the commands than my face. I know I would rather see the commands than my face. And there we go. So now we get these hashes back, right? Now what can we do with this? How the hell are we going to pass the hash? Because we can't. If we try to pass the hash within here with mimikatz, it will not work. So if we do an invoke mimikatz, attack command, what was it? Kerberos or golden? No. SEKURLSA. I'm tired. Pass the hash / user administrator / domain spooky sec.local / ntlm. You just saw me grab that nt hash. We'll throw that in there. /run PowerShell You know, I'm actually going to do command prompt. I'm going to do PowerShell. Command.exe. We're going to try to run that. And we are not going, it did not work any of the time. So if it works this time, we'll be amazed. But what we can do is we can ps exec into it. Right? And we can also wmi exec into it. So since we can p exec into it, we can run some arbitrary commands, right? So we can invoke smb exec. Okay, not ps exec, but smb exec. We can invoke smb exec. Alright. Bring that back to your home machine, just like I did. We're going to do it for a target, 10.10.237.5. Our username, administrator, a command, and then a hash, and we're just going to say verbose. So we're going to say this command could be net-user, we'll say Ryan2. We could have just added Ryan1 to the local group, whatever. We'll say net-user Ryan2, p@sswrd1/add. And since we have remote desktop access in the machine, we can actually head back over here and see, did he actually get added? We're doing net-user, and we have Ryan2 like right there. So we know that we are executing commands on this machine. From here, we can go ahead, and we're using that with a patch to hash for administrator. Because now what we can do is a net user, or excuse me, a net local group administrators /add Ryan. Or Ryan2, excuse me. Ryan2. This is going to then pass the hash across the network, right? So the domain controller is going to see that it's the administrator. It's this hash that adds up to the domain controller, so he's going to let it go. Was already 16 gig DDR4, 32 gig. This one is 32 gig. Oh shit, DDR5. Damn, Frank, you're still here? Sinister Draco, how you doing? So we pass the hash now, and we have executed command using smb exec. All right, you can download that again right off of GitHub. Now let's go ahead and we can really make this guy. We can do a remote management users. All right. I wonder if that's actually gonna work like that. Should probably do it like this. Whenever I add in those quotes, I always like to make sure that one's single, the other one's double. So let's go ahead and add in single quotes like that. All right, remote management users. From here, we can do 32 gig DDR5. What's the speed of it? I'm just worried what the speed of it is. All right, then from here we can do a remote desktop users. So now I'm just adding Ryan2 and everything, right? He's just going in everywhere, right? So we did it, right? Okay, we got him in there. Let's go ahead and head back over into our shell over here. Let's run another Windows PowerShell. Let's run it as administrator. And let's go ahead and type in Ryan2 p@sswrd1. We are now Ryan2. We can see that we are an administrator up here, right? Awesome. From here, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to cd in the C drive, users, administrator, desktop, and we can see that we can look at that root.txt. Okay, so we can type root.txt, and that is the box. The box is now over with, right? We may also be able to do a little kung fu with everything else, but I don't know if I can actually get a session out here. Let's try to do a session. So let's minimize everything down, and let's say ses equals new ps session, because I am a remote management user, right? New ps session. Attack computer name is going to be this. Attack credential is going to be Ryan2, and we're going to say p@sswrd1. I don't think I can actually get a session. No, I cannot. Okay. That's okay. But I know that evil WinRM does work if you decide to do it with Kali. But as shown, you can 100% get through this guy with just PowerShell, utilizing Rubius, PowerShell, and different PowerShell scripts. So who said Windows wasn't good for hacking? That is going to be it for me for tonight.